4430 cold start. There she is. Hey guys, welcome back to Ben's Build. Today we're going to be going over my 6620 combine. This is a 1983 model. Four-wheel drive, has original four-wheel drive on it. Tires about 90%. Everything is in working order. I've had this for a couple months now. I bought it this spring off a guy. It's got about 3,400 hours on it. Everything is in decent shape. Decent enough for my first combine anyways. I have had to do quite a bit of work to it, but with any other farm equipment, what don't you have to do to it, you know? Especially being an 83 model, this combine's pushing 20-25 years old, maybe a little more. I'm not going to do the math right now. But I just want to kind of show you guys. I know there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube of 6620 combines, but I just figured I'd kind of go a little more in detail. Some of you guys might see this chain hanging down. This is something I didn't even know myself. This chain here is hanging down, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what the heck that's for. And so I just took it and I just wrapped it up around this thing and didn't even think about it underneath my fuel tank there. And I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he was saying that it is for your ground. It helps ground your combine when you're in like wheat and soybeans and stuff like that, so that way you're not you don't get like a static electricity going through it. It helps with combine fires, I guess, as far as like keeping the static electricity down, and that way it just helps prevent fires, I guess. Something like I said I didn't even know. Some things we're going to do to it next summer that we'll be doing some videos is the steering's really bad on this as far as like going down the road, and I believe it's because these two cylinders, both these cylinders leak out the seals. So I'm going to get both cylinders replaced or have them new seals put in them. Also, in this four-wheel drive unit here, I'm not exactly sure. I still have to look into this, but these spindles, like up here and then down inside where that one takes grease and this one takes grease down here, I'm pretty sure the bushings and stuff in there are shot because it walks back and forth on you when you're going down the road. And same thing with this one over here. I think that one's actually worse because you can see the tire. If you look at this tire, you can see the tread. I guess, there you can see it. You can see how much this lug there is chopped down and how this one is. And then if you look at it from the side, or even, like there's a good example. I don't know, it's kind of muddy. But, so that's going to be something we'll have to do. I had a lot of fuel issues with it this summer. Or I shouldn't say this summer, this year. It just had a bunch of bean chaff in it when I got it. When I was taking it home, I drove this thing home from Marlette, Michigan. It was about 60 miles, 69 miles from my farm to that guy's farm, and I roaded it the whole way. And it probably took us about 10 hours, which really, in theory, should have taken us 4 hours by doing the math. This thing goes 15 miles an hour, and we shouldn't have been able to do it in like 4 or 5 hours, but I ended up having to stop. Had to clean out the fuel bowl underneath here, the sediment bowl. Which is right up there, tip of my finger, you guys can't see it because it's dark. Had to clean all that out, had to actually flush some of the tank. Ended up having to blow it out with some air and put it all back together and whatnot. So some other updates I'm going to have to do to it is the clean grain elevator there. You can see I've got this thing duct taped a little bit here. That's going to have to get a new one put on. It's the back's out of it and it's just falling apart. Also underneath here, across my clean grain auger, the two doors that are actually clean out doors, them are rusted out, so I'm just going to replace those. I can get those used at like Worthington Ag Parts in St. John's. Big shout out to Worthington Ag Parts in St. John's, by the way. Them guys are awesome. They have a ton of parts available, new and used. Go check them out. I said WorthingtonAgParts.com or Worthington Ag Parts there in St. John's. They have tractor parts, mostly combine parts. You name it, they have it. I've gotten a lot of parts from them this year, reasonably cheap, but good parts. They were used, but it really saves the wallet for sure. This is something else I might have to replace. This tailboard piece here, and these 3 fins are both broken. I had a guy I was doing some custom work for, ran into the back of me with his tractor when I was pulling him out. How he did it, I don't know. Let me tell you, I was not happy. So that's going to end up getting replaced. He's got the parts for me. He's paying for them. Other than that, in here where the sieves are, these were pretty good. I did have this back sieve right here walk out on me because I forgot to tighten the bolts up. There's one bolt right there, and there's a bolt right there. I forgot to I put them on, but I forgot to tighten them, and that thing walked right out the back end on me. Luckily, I didn't run it over, so I was able to save those. It does have a smaller sieve in the bottom. I got to clean these out yet. Not sure if there you guys can see it. I got to clean all that corn out of there. So those things were good. I never had an issue with those. Straw walkers, it's got, not sure if you guys, it's got one new straw walker here. These ones are good up top. I did have some issues with like this side here up top. Was rusted out on me, so I just cut those off. Cut part of it off anyways. The shaker arm bushings, those all got replaced. I had them go out on me, and a couple of them go out on me while I was combining some corn, and I ended up having to get those replaced. And when I did that, I had John Deere do it, just so the fact that they did it, and if anything went wrong with it, they were the ones that were going to be replacing anything that went wrong. And you can, I'm kind of pointing this spot specifically because they put this piece on backwards and it was flipped 180. So what ended up happening, this piece here was, this pitman arm was kicked outwards, and it ended up, I have some pictures of that, I'll show you. It actually ended up breaking that pitman arm that goes up to the fan, right there at the tip of my finger. I broke that off. This was like a Sunday afternoon. I was down the entire day. I was supposed to be cutting soybeans that day. I was down the entire day. I called John Deere up right at 3 o'clock when they were closing, and they didn't have the part. And I ended up actually going and finding the part at friends of mine. He's got a used implement dealer. He's a used implement dealer. So I got that. I tried putting it back on myself because it's really not that hard. It's 3 bolts. Same thing up there on the fan. It's a couple of bolts up there. And couldn't figure it out. So 7 o'clock at night, I called John Deere and had them come out and fix it. Needless to say, they ended up paying for the service call, both service calls for the bushings as well, and I ended up just paying for the bushings. It's got a new vertical auger shaft in it. It's got new grain tank augers in it, the cross augers. It also has a brand new horizontal unloading auger in it. The tube and everything's all the same, but the auger's new itself. I do not know, I'm pretty sure the auger, this vertical auger here is good. It was the original auger, I mean. It is missing some shields up in here I would like to get eventually, but them shields are a little expensive. But eventually I will get those. Hopefully by next summer I'll have them before I start running some wheat. I did have issues with the fan speed, which is right here. I'll turn this up and it still won't go up as high as I would like it, but I end up having that bearing that's at the tip of my finger go out, and that's, I want to call it like a, I want to say it's, I can't think of the name, like the sieve or the sleeve or the shiv, that's what it is, a shiv. That ended up going out and ruined the shaft, so I had to get a new one of those. I ended up actually getting a used one off a 6620 combine as well. But new bearings, of course, obviously. Some other work that I've done to it, I put some LED lights on up top there. Not sure if you guys are going to be able to see that real well. Kind of zoom in out here. So I got a LED light there. I got 2 halogens in the middle, another one over there. I do have LED lights to replace those two. So we're going to be doing that. I have put a new feeder house drive chain on here. This is all new here, just because the other one was so rusted and wasn't taken care of properly. Other major work I had done to it was this final drive here. You may see the odd color lug nuts there that aren't painted. yellow, and that's because those two studs, not necessarily those two right there, but there was two that were right next to each other, like say it was like these two, that were actually snapped off. And I had to take the whole final drive off, take it into John Deere, and I had to have John Deere drill and tap them studs because I couldn't get them out with an easy out. That was not expensive. That was right around $500 just to do two of them. So yeah, not fun on that. Some of the other issues I had, I noticed that this spring, I'm not sure how well you guys can see this, but I had to replace that feeder house floor right there. I don't know how the original owner did not replace it himself. It had about a 8-inch long, lengthwise there, by about 2 inches wide hole in it, and it was on the bottom. So if you can imagine, he ran oats and wheat and soybeans. He never ran any corn through this combine. He was the second owner, I'm the third owner. And so if you can imagine all your wheat and your oats going through the bottom, a lot of that stuff's going to shell out in the head, or going through the feeder house there, up into the concave and stuff. He would have been losing about half of his yield out the bottom of the combine because he didn't replace that floor in there. Some of the other work that's been done to it, it's got new concaves in it. It's got fairly decent rasp bars. I have one bent one I got to replace, but it also has new cross augers in it. There's one old one. I don't, for the life of me, have no idea why you replace all of them and then just leave one old one in there. This was done before the second owner. This was done with the original owner. I'm not sure why. Again, it just blows my mind. I did notice that the tach isn't working, or the hour meter isn't working, I guess. So this combine may have more than 3,400 hours on it. It's got a new reman motor in there too by John Deere. It's got the big motor, I think 464 motor. That could be wrong, don't quote me. But it's got the big motor in it. Runs good. I haven't had any issues with it. Yeah, I do have the grain bin extensions. They're just folded down. Lights do work and stuff. But for the most part, this machine's been good to me. I haven't had too many issues with it. I should say I have, but nothing major, where I've got to be spending tens of thousands of dollars or whatever, It does add up over the course of the year. But hopefully, by next year, I have all the kinks worked out of it. Everything's in good shape, and I'll be able to run without any issues. If I continue to have issues with this machine, it's just going to go down the road, and I'll end up getting a different one. I'll probably end up looking for like a 77 or an 8820. But yeah, I got this 220 head that I run on it, and it worked really good. I didn't have any issues with that header at all this year, minus the obvious teeth, changing teeth and a couple guards here and there. And then over here, I got my 6-row corn head. I just picked this up just before corn harvest here for $1,000, and I think it runs pretty dang good, minus the worn out stalk rollers, which is fine, no big deal. The tin's in pretty decent shape. It's had a few spots welded on it, but like I said, no big deal. You guys can see it's pretty decent. It's in, like I said, in pretty decent shape. Everything ran good. I'm gonna clean this up and get all the chains and everything oiled up, and get it put away for this winter. I'm still looking for a trailer for this. I got to figure out something how to I got to find a old gravity wagon base or something I can set this on, because I don't have anything yet. So yeah, this is a 643, and it works pretty decent. So, well, alrighty guys, thank you for watching Bennett's Build today. Like I said, we will be more videos coming up shortly. This one's a little longer. It's about 11 minutes or 13 minutes or so. Filming this with my new Canon camera. I'm gonna do a review on that. So stay tuned to Bennett's Build. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, please. It really helps out my channel, helps me grow as a YouTuber, and hopefully the more I get, the more I can do some giveaways and stuff like that. I really appreciate you guys commenting. I'll try and get back with everybody I can. Hit the like button, that helps out as well. And don't forget to check out my Instagram page, Bennett's Build. I'm posting pictures on that all the time of whatever I'm doing that day or whatever's going on. So check that out. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you later.